Ron Ohtori spent 15 years on stage as the idealized standard of Japanese masculinity. Her career was built on a central contradiction. The woman who perfected this archetype was born Zhuang Zhilan in 1946, not in a theater, but in a rented Kobe horse stable, the daughter of Chinese immigrants. Post-war Japan was a precarious place for foreigners. Her father, a tailor, maintained a survivalist code for his children. Keep your head down, do not stand out, and blend in. For Ohtori, blending in was a physical impossibility. She grew to 5'7", exceptionally tall for a woman of that era, with deep Western-style facial features that made it impossible to simply blend into the crowd. Despite her father's demand for invisibility, she was drawn to the spotlight. Even as a child, she naturally posed for cameras and spent her nights captivated by the glow of a projector at local outdoor movie screenings. She eventually found a loophole at the Da카라츠카 music school. It was a rigorous, highly structured environment where her height and unfiltered magnetism were treated as assets rather than social liabilities. Failing the test of normal Japanese womanhood forced her into this specialized world. It was a space where she could begin to architect an entirely new, powerful identity from the ground up. In the Da카ra츠ka system, Ohtori became an otokoyaku, a female actor in a male role. She treated the role as a piece of engineering, built on 3 strict archetypal pillars: the strong, the funny, and the kind. Her physical transformation was meticulous. She studied Hollywood stars like Clark Gable, obsessively training her body to replicate his masculine sitting posture, specifically the way he anchored his ankle to his opposite thigh. This wasn't a surface-level performance. And Ohtori immersed herself so deeply in the psyche of the otokoyaku that her own physiology responded. During these intense performance runs, her menstrual cycle completely stopped. The psychological foundation of her performance was hoyoryoku, a capacity to protect. It is a specific type of charisma that suggests a core strong enough to absorb external pressure and shield everyone within its orbit. This protective instinct was rooted in her childhood. Because her parents struggled to speak Japanese, Ohtori grew up as their primary defender, living with a constant, hyper-vigilant need to shield her family from a society she perceived as hostile. Her stage power was the result of this early anxiety, refined into a protective presence that defined her career. 15 years of embodying the male ideal granted Ohtori a unique social mobility, allowing her to navigate real-world hierarchies that were otherwise closed to women. She was accepted into the inner circles of Japan's most powerful men, including Isao Nakauchi, the billionaire founder of the Daiei retail empire. She formed an equally close bond with Hiromasa Ezoe, the architect of the massive recruit conglomerate. Outside of Ohtori's circle, the public saw these men as symbols of corruption and collapse, defined by the ruthless expansions and scandalous downfalls that filled the morning papers. Ohtori viewed these men as fellow titans. They responded in kind, treating her as a professional peer rather than a subservient woman. By mastering the architecture of male power on stage, she successfully neutralized the ability of the real-world patriarchy to diminish her. When Ohtori retired from Da카ra츠ka in 1979, the transition was jarring. For the first time in 15 years, she was required to perform standard female roles. Playing a woman presented a different set of challenges. These roles lacked the predictable archetypes she had mastered as an otokoyaku, requiring a more fluid, less formulaic approach to character. She shifted away from psychological acting toward a technique she called bloodstream, rhythmic acting. She began to build her characters through the music itself. Her innate sense of syncopated rhythm allowed her to thrive in the demanding, high-energy world of Western musical theater. In Les Miserables, she used this rhythmic drive to redefine the villainous Madame Thénardier. By leaning into the upbeat score, she transformed a grim abuser into an iconic, energetic force that dominated the stage. Stage presence is the act of taking every part of yourself that society rejected, immigrant roots, foreign features, and innate rhythm, and synthesizing them into an undeniable emotional truth.